The Woman, bonus chapter. Hey, don't stay up here too late. The water trickled down the side of the tub, dripping on the tile floor. I won't, don't worry, he replied to the other voice in the room. I'll only be a minute. The other man chuckled at him. You're always so inclined to help that one patient. Don't make me tell Dr. Schwally again. He looked down, not sure of what to say. I would like some privacy, Dr. Hoyt. Suit yourself, Caleb. Dr. Feldman watched the door swing shut with a gentle click, leaving him alone with the patient. He glanced in the tub below, looking down on the man that lay there. He clicked his tongue, thinking, Mr. Miner has been mostly unresponsive for days now, but it is still my duty to perform his therapies. Simon's eyes were closed, refusing to open for any reason. He couldn't speak. He could only groan every couple minutes. The only thing related to speech Simon could manage was to mumble incomprehensible sentences just below his breath. He lolled his head over, weightless, yet heavy and limp. Dr. Feldman kept running the warm water, dipping Simon's head under a few times. The young doctor didn't know how this could possibly help, but he was just following the orders he was given. Although, as of this hour, it was not necessary for Dr. Feldman to perform hydrotherapy. He had made the decision to take him there anyway. The doctor himself didn't even know the full extent of why he took the effort to bring Simon here in the first place. He just had to. Simon groaned once more, twisting his limbs around and wriggling in the water. Dr. Feldman gave more heat to the tub, trying his best to soothe Simon. The doctor was kneeling on the floor, as he had been for about 30 minutes now. His knees were digging against the hard tile, falling sorer with each second he spent next to Simon's side. Dr. Feldman wiped his hands off with a towel he had pulled from the shelf, drying off as he reached for the clipboard on the floor. He flipped past the pages, landing on a sheet that was specifically meant for Simon. Dr. Feldman scribbled on the page. Patient 1212's dementiapraxia has not been receptive to treatments as of late. Patient reports hearing and seeing things that aren't there, such as people, unspecified which, and music, particularly piano. More diagnostics are to be looked into for the future. Please note as possibilities: pantophobia, melancholia, shell shock. Note that patient has not gone to war. Patient also undergoes bouts of unresponsiveness, wherein he can spend days in a sort of trance, such that he cannot speak directly to anyone, only mumbling words. I have tried several times to break him from this, but have yet to succeed. Dr. Feldman set down his pen, looking at Simon again. He sighed as he continued. It is very important to note that the patient refuses to eat while in this trance-like state. I've tried to feed him, but patient does not open his mouth on his own, and if I open his jaw to place food in, he does not swallow. Mr. Miner, patient is recommended to receive a feeding tube along with hydration IV to avoid malnutrition. Out of all the different therapies patient has undergone, he seems to be the most receptive to occupational therapy. Hydrotherapy is most effective when patient is not aware it is happening. Do not perform while patient is awake, as it will cause panic. Insulin therapy will be continued as normal. Patient has undergone ECT about 4 times, only once when conscious. Side effects are still unclear. It is recommended to find more stress relievers A loud cry interrupted Dr. Feldman's train of thought. He immediately set the clipboard down and checked on Simon. Simon was groaning, whimpering and shaking. His limbs twitched and became erratic, splashing water out of the tub. Calm down, Mr. Miner, calm down, I'm here, Dr. Feldman tried to console. Simon cried out again, squeezing his eyes even more shut, clenching his teeth. Dr. Feldman swiped his hand over Simon's chest, holding him down. Simon whined even louder. Dr. Feldman began to rub the area gently, trying so hard for Simon to just calm down. He was taking uneven and hyper breaths, shaking his head around. Dr. Feldman thought for a moment Simon was seizing, until Simon shot his own hand up and grabbed onto Dr. Feldman's. The young doctor was shocked for a moment, being suddenly snatched into a grip. Dr. Feldman tried to wriggle his hand out of Simon's, but something suddenly stopped him. Stella, Simon whispered. Stella. Dr. Feldman stopped for a moment. Stella. This was not the first time Dr. Feldman had been mistaken for a loved one, but this time just felt different. He slowly twisted his hand, gently releasing himself from Simon's grasp. Dr. Feldman looked at Simon, resting his chin in his hands on the side of the tub. He was lost in deep thought, thinking very hard. He slid his hand back into Simon's, holding it softly. Dr. Feldman ran his thumb over Simon's calloused knuckles. He didn't know what possessed him to do this. It just felt right. Simon's breath steadied, filling the room with small inhales. It was quiet. Dr. Feldman must have sat there for around 10 minutes, making his worn knees even more in pain. But that didn't matter to him. Simon was calm. Eventually, though, Dr. Feldman did get Simon out of the tub and got him dressed. He hoisted him up in his wheelchair and was now exiting the room. Dr. Feldman was wheeling Simon to his room when he ran into his colleague again. "Casper!" he shouted a bit too loudly. "Hey, how did the session go?" Hoyt responded, looking skeptically at Simon. Oh, it was fine, but..." Dr. Feldman fiddled with his sleeves. "Do you, know if Mr. Miner has any connection to a Stella?" The other doctor looked at him in confusion. "Yes?" Dr. Feldman stared at him blankly, waiting for him to follow up. The other doctor tried to hide his creeping smirk. "Your dear Mr. Miner slaughtered Miss Stella Akai in a fit of insanity." A small gasp rang in Dr. Feldman's ears. His own gasp. "Slaughtered," he repeated. He gripped the handles of Simon's wheelchair tighter. "Do you need help bringing the patient to the next room?" "No, it's fine. I'll do it myself." "Suit yourself." Casper strutted down the hall with an echoing giggle. Dr. Feldman continued to roll Simon to the designated room. As Feldman was strapping Simon's wrist in place, he couldn't stop thinking about what he had been told. He couldn't have, he thought, furrowing his brows. Dr. Feldman pulled the strap a bit too tight. How could he? An IV was poked into Simon's arm. No, he couldn't have. A long tube was fitted down Simon's throat to his stomach. Dr. Feldman stood back, looking at Simon. It was only a moment before Dr. Feldman found himself walking out of the door, shutting the lights off as he left. But even still, he couldn't stop thinking about the woman.